Thank you so much for this session, Sunday morning, and you are showing up here. I would suggest that for 2 minutes we start with gratitude meditation. Those who are walking outside, just observe the nature, no need to close eyes. But those who are at home, I would suggest that you close your eyes and let's have the gratitude meditation for 2 minutes. So before we start discussing on letter 11 and 12. And we know that gratitude is one of the highest vibrations or frequencies we can embody. When we practice gratitude, we invite beauty into our lives. So let's open our heart together. So take a deep breath in and gently exhale. Please close your eyes if you can close, if you are at home. And silently or out loud repeat after me what I say. Thank you for my breath, which gives me life. Thank you for allowing me to see another day. Thank you for my body, the vessel which keeps me alive. Thank you for my health. Thank you for the beauty of this moment, the stillness. Thank you for the people who love and support me. Thank you for the lessons I have learned, even the difficult ones. Thank you for all the opportunities so far offered to me in life. Thank you for the physical and mental strength within me. Thank you for my journey of life so far. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take deep breath in and slowly exhale. Open your eyes, feel the warmth of gratitude. Sorry, feeling your heart. Let's carry this feeling of thankfulness into rest of our day. So let's need to share that later 11, 12, Palakji, or I can.
Yeah, either way would do, Sanjay ji. We
Okay.
all have the book, yeah.
So later 11, 12. We know that the book is focus is what focus on what matters, right? And if you have attended yesterday's session by Jyotsna ji, I think that's science, that neuroscience, that's everything. And I think this is little of motivational side what we are discussing here, and that was so deep. I was thinking whether there is a need to discuss what we will be discussing today. But yes, I think this is something we can repeat again and again, and then only we'll be able to do some actions on that side. So this letter 11, this starts with the story where the writer is spending time in Spain, and he comes around, he comes there along with his mother and brother. And this beautiful place, he wants to roam around. So after some time, brother and sister, family members, they go back and he remains alone in the area. Now he has two choices, whether to spend time in leisure या अपना जो उसका जो प्रोजेक्ट है बुक राइटिंग का उस पे वो ध्यान रखे. So this is what the thought he starts this chapter with, or this letter with. And what he mentions, I am reading that line: I love to write and I see this as my purpose. So purpose in life is very important. Many times we just think something, okay, ये कर लेंगे, वो कर लेंगे. But the main important line I'm seeing in first or second para of this book is I love to write and I see this as my purpose, and I think we should take this as forward, and we should also have some purpose in life. We may be having, but if not, then I think we all should have purpose in life. And what he's saying that he is doing this since long time. So and he quotes Marcus Aurelius, no random actions, none not based on underlying principles. So कुछ भी ये ठीक लगा वो कर लिया, कुछ और ठीक लगा वो कर लिया. No random actions, none not based on underlying principles. This is what he was living with. And then he goes further and say that I happen to live by Stoic principles. And there are many principles. Two specifically he mentions here: focus on what you control and live in agreement with nature. Now, many times we have discussed here also focus on what you can control. This gives clarity. When we focus our energy into a certain thing or purpose, that brings clarity in our life. Now, let's discuss some examples in a day-to-day life or professional life, which I was thinking upon, like workplace. If we see that each organizations they have policies. Policies are not in our control. Many times I have seen employees, colleagues, ये ठीक नहीं है, वो ठीक नहीं है. वो उनके कंट्रोल में नहीं है. वो कंट्रोल में नहीं है, उसके ऊपर क्यों बात करके अपना टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. तो जो चीज़ कंट्रोल में नहीं है वो नहीं है. जो कंट्रोल में है उसको कंट्रोल करें. आपका अपने एक्शंस वगैरह. सिमिलरली प्रमोशंस वगैरह. Many times what we have in our hand, we have that, okay, whatever work is assigned to us, let's do that in full capacity, capability, productively, efficiently. And this is what Bhagavad Gita also says, that हमारे साथ हमारे हाथ में कर्म करना है, रिजल्ट हमारे हाथ में है नहीं. So with that principle, if we focus at workplace, बॉस मैनेजमेंट, अभी आप बॉस ने कुछ काम दिया है, उसके बाद में हमारे हाथ में उस काम को अच्छे से करना है. वो कैसे रिएक्ट करेगा वो हमारे हाथ में तो है नहीं. दिस इज व्हाट we can take example from workplace regarding this focus on what you can control. If you take health as an example, outside pollution is not in our hand. What is in our hand, that how we deal with our health, mentally, physically. Whatever we can do, we should do. Relationship, emotions, others emotions are not in hand, but our own emotions we can control. So that is something which we should be mindful of all the time. One big example from my own life, which I have given or discussed many times in office, related to traffic jam, because I have spent more than 15 years of my life in commuting to and fro from office to home, and at minimum 3 hours. And if you are wasting that time, it's big waste. Sometimes it goes to 4 hours also. So deliberately long back I decided how I'll be utilizing this time, and I had to plan that time in advance. कल मुझे सुबह बस में जो मुझे 1.5 घंटा है तो मुझे कैसे निकालना है. मैं अपना जो भी है कभी मैं म्यूजिक का प्लान कर लेता कि म्यूजिक अलोंग विद मेडिटेशन. वो भजन हो सकते हैं, कभी बुक रीडिंग हो सकती है. अब उसमें कभी-कभी मैंने डिसाइड किया कि मैं पूरे जब बस में बैठूँगा उसके बाद से मैं 1 घंटे तक मैं अपनी आँखें ही नहीं खोलूँगा. मीन्स आई विल डिसाइड दैट व्हाटएवर आई विल बी लिसनिंग, और if it is long meditation, that is also. So this was of great help to me. Initially I was not very regular in this because it takes time to build habit, but I could maintain not full 1.5 hour or 2 hours, but at least 70-80% of that I could apply in my own life regarding this. I have seen people complaining about traffic jam and all, ठीक है, हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एक टाइम होता है कि मान लो उस टाइम से हम पहले नहीं पहुंच पाए तो या तो एक्स्ट्रा रुकना पड़ेगा, या कभी कभी जो है ना उसको हाफ डे में कन्वर्ट भी हो जाता है। हमारे भी इस तरह की पॉलिसी है कि इफ यू आर नॉट रीचिंग बाय 10, देन फर्स्ट हाफ इज गॉन, बट दैट इज नॉट इन योर कंट्रोल। If it is happening again and again, you can plan your commuting accordingly. So this is focus on what you can control. We discussed many times earlier also. Let's move to second stoic principle, live in agreement with nature, what he mentions there. And he mentions act rationally, avoid distractions. Distraction के ऊपर कल ज्योत्सना जी ने भी काफ़ी साइंटिफिकली बताया। यहाँ पर वो बोलना चाह रहा है कि कुछ भी जो एक्शन है उसको आप उसके बारे में रैशनली सोचो। रैशनली मतलब जो भी डिसीजन हम ले रहे हैं, अब नाउ अगेन इफ आई टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ वर्क प्लेस, so what kind of distractions generally we have at workplace? Emails are there, meetings are there. I remember yesterday Jyotsna ji were also saying that we should be mindful all the meetings whether we should attend or not. Similarly, we can fix time for email openings or also. So distractions, uh, we can rationally plan that where to give our focus maximum. From health point of view, again, we know that what is good for eating, what is not. So we should act rationally on our health side also. On relationship, again, when we are with our friends, family members, it's a general practice that okay, we'll be opening up our phone, उसमें कुछ भी देखेंगे वगैरह जो भी है. So again, act rationally that okay, when we are with someone, we should be with that person when we are meeting or discussing something else. Related to finances also, we go to online shopping and then even though it is not planned, but we will be doing impulse buying also. So again, act rationally. So he mentions that we should act rationally, and live in agreement with nature is what he meant. He mentions that living a good life is about not getting distracted. The same thing what he is saying. How can we all reflect maybe yesterday or maybe 2 days ago? Think of a time when you felt most alive and engaged. Just pause yourself and think that when you were most alive and engaged, what you were doing. Maybe it is yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, or last weekend. कैसे गुजारा आपने? And you can think of that activity. If that activity is giving you so much of focus, concentration, engagement, and you can repeat or you can focus more on those kind of activities. Author mentions that each one of us, means he was mentioning about the personal passion project. So what he writes, I believe every person should have some kind of personal passion project. We can write down our own project, जो भी हमारा जो भी हमको लगता है कि ये करना चाहिए, जिसको हम पूरा कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. इट कैन बी इन आर्ट, इट कैन बी इन राइटिंग, it reading. Okay, again if we decide that is also project, learning something, music or anything, language also. So personal passion project is highly recommended by him. And if I, like right now, I'm preparing for Tata Mumbai marathon, that is 42 kilometer in January. Until October end or by mid November, I was not having proper training for that. But after that, I decided that I should be totally focused. 42-kilometer running is not just, it is not multiplication of half marathon, 21 into 2. It is not so, because we don't have that kind of energy beyond 28, 30 kilometers. So we have to do proper training for our physical body. Then I made a fixed plan. I have experience of doing this earlier, so it was not a big deal. So fixed plan was created. KTK Monday would be rest day, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because it is a holiday, so you can spend maximum time on physical activities also. So just an example, that personal passion project we should all have, and what writer mentions here about David Goggins. I don't know whether you heard about him or not. David Goggins. I have watched his podcasts, YouTube videos, and he is basically runner, ultra marathoners and all. So that was natural interest to me to watch his videos also. And he mentions that he ran half marathon in 1 hour 35 minutes, and the average time was 2 hours. And if you know that running even few seconds matter, means within 1 minute span you can see that ranking changing by hundreds or so, depending on participation numbers also. So this was his goal, and then he was behind it. And when he mentioned it long back that okay, when I am 40, then I'll be doing this six pack or maybe marathon specific time or so. So on not getting distracted, these are the things he basically mentions. Just to conclude on that side and to reflect from your side, we should we should carefully watch what our distractions are in our day-to-day life. We should have personal passion project, and maybe we can identify top three daily distractions. Before we move to letter 12, if you want to reflect upon or say something on this, please. Anyone?
Yeah, it's quite relatable about the, like yesterday Jyotsna ji said that we usually focus on being focused rather than our distractions. So it's like those passionate activities, whatever it's there in our lives, we can focus on that and bring back our focus. Like uh, earlier when I used to prepare for like exams and all, it's a difficult task. So the subject that interested me most, I always started with that, and I achieved the flow state. I achieved the focus, and then I went to other activities. And it's quite no, it's not random actually. And in my current life as well, like this time, my distraction or passion is books. So whenever I'm happy, like you said, what you did last weekend or what are you doing, so actually, I am not going out of my house because of my injury. I cannot walk properly right now. So it's quite frustrating. Like you are not able to go out, and like you are a social person and you're not able to go out. So books, I find my solace in books, and I feel good after that. So I think maybe
Thank you, Palakji. This is a very good example. Many times we get frustrated. In fact, this remembers, and I remember in 2018 when I was participating in a 50-kilometer ultra marathon, and I got injured. And because of that, then I was advised to take rest for 1 month for physical activities. It was not that I could not walk or so. And when we are seeing that okay, I have to participate 3 months down the line, and your other friends and all, they are doing trainings and you are not doing, so it is quite frustrating. So how to utilize that time productively, this is very important. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Anyone else?
it's still the same.
सर आप म्यूट पे हैं.
I just want to reflect on two things. In fact, in this chapter, he also talks about living agreement with nature. While I'm reading, I was wondering what that means. Nature means the physical entity we are talking. The way I interpreted that is nature of our own, feelings and acceptance to the change is. Okay, sometimes we very gracefully go ahead with that. Sometimes we become a very self-critical or something like that. So, this also, at least in my case, I'm saying if something I do, it is good, I'll pat my back. If I'm not good, I also, if I'm not able to do it, I still say I'm good. That is what actually nature is, and move ahead, from that, what we can take it forward from that. That was one element in that chapter is also mentioned. I think the personal passion project is the key highlight from this particular book. Coincidentally, I'm planning for 2026 now in last couple of weeks. So I very specifically called out what should be my personal passion projects are, so that I can focus on when scenarios comes like this. This all these things coming very timely. I think you guys are talking about Josnaji's talk. I'm going to listen to it later today and link all these dots together. Thank you.
Sir, please listen to that recording, and it will test your focus also. I am very sure. In fact, I'm not very sure whether few people who left this in between, maybe because of that. So, but it was excellent review done on the book, which is quite deep.
Yeah, it is
So
deep.
you please listen the recording.
Thank you.
And
Very good.
regarding that, what you are saying that this book, Principle Living in Agreement with Nature, in fact, initially I was also thinking that it means something related to physical, but what he says that to live well is to live in harmony with the facts of life, and we should act rationally. So this is what he meant. It is not like it is very natural from the statement that okay we should be living in agreement with nature, but it is suggestion that we should act rationally in our life. Okay, can we move to letter 12?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the value of single-minded focus, this is what letter 12 says. And if I single-minded focus, this was giving me we all know that convex lens, when we converging rays are focused to a focal point, and then if we, I think you all might have done that kind of experiment in your childhood, and then वो कागज जो है burn हो जाएगा. So that is the power of single minded focus. उत्तल लेंस बोलते हैं हिंदी में. अब रीति में उनको शायद मालूम नहीं होगा, बट हमने उसी तरह से पढ़ा है. कॉन्वेक्स लेंस इज उत्तल लेंस, मीन्स इट इज फ्रॉम द sides it is little thin in thickness, and in middle it is heavy, that is convex. So on the value of single minded focus, we all know that importance of that. And what he mentioned in the starting of this chapter, to be everywhere is to be nowhere, and this is very important. We may think okay ये भी कर लेते हैं वो भी कर लेते हैं, so to be everywhere is to be nowhere. And but at the same time it is not that we all have only one single goal. We may be having two three, but आठ से 10 goal रखना is not good. We may finalize okay 2 to 3 activities we will be focusing upon, and then out of those 2 to 3 we can decide that okay which one to focus currently, and accordingly we can work on that. So he mentions if you want to achieve anything, you need to focus on that one thing. When your focus and energy are all over the place, you never make any meaningful progress. And this is similarly it's what we were discussing about that convex lens. When converging rays are placed to a focal point, you get the concentrated energy to burn that thing, paper or something else also. And then he mentions that few things that influence your ability to focus what's important to you. First is mental health, and then something related to it's worth discussing here, primary activities and secondary activities he mentions. So for each of the task or each of the goal or purpose, we have certain activities to perform. He is divided into primary and secondary activities. Primary activities directly related to achieve that goal in a timely manner, in efficient manner, in productive manner. And secondary activities, for example, from workplace, like emails are part of our life, that goes into secondary activities. It's not helping to achieve your task doing efficiently. So when you are working on a project or anything else, then let's close that. Okay, no notification, nothing is there, and then totally focus on that. Even though you might feel that okay, some reference to be taken from somewhere else, you note it down and then take it later on, but first you complete the task. So single minded focus is very important. It goes into primary activities. Secondary activities may support that particular goal, but one should minimize or should not have those secondary activities. What he says, when you spend more time in secondary activities than primary one, you are lacking focus. Then he mentions, when you don't have a big goal in life, you won't have anything meaningful to work on. You feel like you are not making progress. If you work towards a big goal, something that takes years to accomplish, you have clarity and focus. The same thing what we were discussing earlier. We all should have goal, purpose. I think more than 95% people in this world, they live without purpose, without goal also. At least we should not be part of those 95%. This can be our target. We should have some goal, some purpose in life. Why we are here? We have limited time on this earth. Yesterday, Retimem sent that clip from Steve Jobs that we have limited time in this earth. That also reminds that the last lecture. So we should have purpose in life. We should have goal in life. When we take care of mental health, that is nothing but primary activities. This is what he also mentions, and he mentions that I spend about 90% of my time, energy, mental bandwidth completing my new book. So whenever we decide, okay, we have to complete this task, then we should focus at least 80 to 90% of our energy to that particular task only. He later on mentions about David Goggins. I'm not going whatever is written, but what I understood, David Goggins means he says that I don't believe in like balancing things and all. There is no balance. Like many times now we talk about work-life balance in general in um, organizations. So if I take inference from David Goggins, he says that there is no balance. Means you focus on one thing and complete it. We may disagree to that, but suppose you want to finish the task in one go or means in uh, minimum time, then I think we should maximize our energy focus to that particular task. That is what the idea here is. Now, what we can reflect upon or as a prompt in our life, we can write down our big goals, but I think should not be more than three or four. We can, for each goal, we can identify primary activities, means those activities which will support to achieve that particular goal or purpose, and secondary activities which will be distraction to those to achieve those goals. We should mention or we should write down. Once we write, then it goes into our brain also. We are giving feedback to our brain that okay, we will be doing this. 90% energy, what he talks about, whatever we are doing, I think we should focus on. So identify devoting 90% of energy to that particular task. Let's say if we are having writing goal, then 90% of my energy will go into writing. Like we are having right now TBF warmth and all. Though I also planned that goal, but not yet done 90%. It's maybe just scattering here and there. So what I remember that distraction से हमको focus में नहीं जाना, हमसे focus से हम distraction में जाएं. What Jyotsna ji was telling yesterday. So, and 2 3 areas in our life we can think of where we should focus on. Writing हो सकता है, art हो सकता है, और big purpose in life. To be great at something is to be well minded. I think this was one great learning I had from yesterday's session. Myelinated. This is something new word to me. But those who have not attended this session means न्यूरॉन्स के आसपास में जो है फैटी एसिड जो है वो जमा हो जाएगा, माइलिनेटेड हो जाएगा. So then it helps in creating a specific habit, that is signs of performance, means more myelin around relevant neurons. So any task become any task becomes effortless. So then I was reflecting upon related to on the value of single-minded focus. There are, in fact, chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, where mind is your own friend, mind is your own enemy. And from chapter 2, what Anilji was saying on that day about uh, tortoise. So if you can think of that also, that okay, we should not be distracted by outward things in life in general. So this is what it is. Anything, any reflection on letter 12 on the value of single-minded focus. And as I said that yesterday's session by Josna ji on deep work was more into this only. So and that was more practical, more scientific. Better we discuss here about importance of focus, or any example you can cite from your own life, day-to-day life, or you plan to do something which can inspire others also here at TBF. Floor is open for discussion.
Yeah. Before that, let's take a selfie and then we can start discussing. I think I'll record the discussions as well this time. So I would request everyone to turn on their cameras. Good morning, Ramit.
Mr. Good morning.
So Manji
Normally, I
and
used to walk during such sessions, so my energy is little low today. Otherwise, Sunday morning I'll definitely without fail I'll go for walk.
morning, Amarji, Jagriti, Supanji. Good morning, Maheshji. All right, ready? Smile. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Right. So, yeah, I would like to share something regarding the last. There's a bold way it's written. You're better off mentally and professionally by really being focused on things that matter to you. So nowadays, I would not say that mental health is like lightly. I'll not take that. But nowadays, a lot of us are having mental health issues. And yesterday only, I read an article in Hindu that most of the mental health issues, there are mental health issues, but they are overdiagnosed as compared to the physical. Yeah. So people tend to think that they have this mental health problem, but they actually don't. And somewhere I read that most of your anxiety and problems can be sorted if you do what you're ought to do. जो आपको करना चाहिए वो अगर आप कर लेंगे तो your anxiety and your mental problems would be less. So I think it is very true here that those things that matter to us, if we are focused on that, we are tend to be less stressful and less anxious. Yeah. So yes. Anyone else? Yes, Chetaji.
Yes, sir.
And
Uh,
I would request, sorry, sir. I would
Go
request
ahead.
everyone to also respond. Let's make it an interactive session, not just us. Yeah.
Sanjay, just a question while reading it came to my mind too. I think you also talked about it, like that convex lens, metaphor what you gave. It's very, very powerful so that we can dedicate most of our energy, even in the book, it talks about the writing is a focus area. Now, take an example, which what I'm just taking your example so that we can Now you want to do a marathon in the next 4 weeks, but you have to have a goal.